Hi, I'm Ken, and this is Natural Selection. Thank you for joining me. As promised, I am making a new video. Unfortunately, I've been trying to make this particular video for a little while now. Had to do several recordings of it. But anywho, on to the subject matter. Today's unscripted show. Today's topic is education. Now, education is a very important thing because it helps you be able to get a career or job, depending on your needs. However, as the system is currently set up, it's exceedingly flawed. What do I mean by this? Well, we are force-fed a bunch of information over a broad spectrum and asked to regurgitate it back on demand. Now, this is great for game shows like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Family Feud, whatnot, but it has quite a bit less practical application in the real world. What we need is a system a bit more tailored to the individual. Now, I'm not saying we need to completely redesign everything, but what we do need to do is when a child shows an aptitude for a certain thing, be it language arts, be it math, be it science, we need to look into filling their educational needs with more of that subject, while still giving them the basics to be able to survive. Now, you don't need advanced algebra to be able to survive day to day. You really don't. You do need to be able to know how to read and write and do basic calculations for, say, buying groceries, paying taxes. However, I don't think you're going to need to know, say, the quadratic formula to be able to do any of that. Really, no. You need to know how to add, divide, multiply, and subtract. But yeah, what we have set up currently is very broad, and we need to focus more. We need to create some sort of environment that'll allow children to be able to reach the potential that they have for, like I said, certain subject matter. In the book series that I love to read often, the Shalon Alliance by Lisa Ann Norman, the society within it is set up with guilds. When you show promise in a certain field, they send you to a guild for that particular subject, be it medical, be it construction, be it sciences, even religious studies. If you have an aptitude for something, they will make sure that you're getting the education you need for that, plus the basics. Now, I like this system. This is a really great way to set it up. And, it's not just, well, you can only do one thing, so we're only going to have you learn one thing. No, if you want to broaden your horizons, you can go cross-guild. You can go to another guild and study something else. There are some people who are very good at many things. And for them, it makes sense to go, well, okay, I need to go to this guild, that guild, and the one over there, so I can get the education I need to be able to do this job. Very specific. You have levels of specificality. And the more specific the job, the more intricate the skills you're going to need. Now, another one of the main problems with education today is we've got these groups, both political and religious, who are trying to put their hand in the proverbial cookie jar, grab all the cookies up, and hide them away. I know, I just made that really confusing. But I don't see a problem with religious studies so long as you are doing an even stroke, not just one religion. You can't just say, well, this is the one religion you're going to learn because it's the right one. That's not how it works. In the United States of America, which is where we are currently, well, where I am, we have freedom of religion. What that says is that you have the freedom to choose whatever religion you want, to be able to worship as you see fit. Unfortunately, a lot of that's been suppressed in recent years. We have these huge religious cults, I'm going to call them because that's really what they are, who don't even follow their own teachings. I mean, if you look in the Bible, and you know anything about Jesus, he would be so pissed off with the way Christians are currently. He basically said, if you're going to pray, you need to do so quietly, because those who boast their prayfulness, their religious devotion, they're not being devoted. They're being show-offs. I see lots of merchandise with WWJD. What would Jesus do? Well, he would flip tables, he would whip politicians, he would drive out moneylenders, he would disrupt church gatherings, and ultimately get thrown in jail for all of the above. That's just how Jesus do. And personally, if Jesus were here today and he was doing that shit, I'd be going, hey, I want to follow that dude. He knows what's up. He knows what's going on. But, we've got all these meek, weak, and timid individuals who essentially more or less like being crushed under the heel of religion and politics. It's sad. It really is. You have all these people going, well, we have, we're the greatest country in the world. We have all these freedoms and whatnot, and we're getting more and more freedoms taken away. Canada's more free than we are. Mexico is more free than we are. We suck. Majorly. Okay, I mean, we have states that are trying, or have been trying, to make miscarriages illegal. Like, felony illegal. How stupid is that? Okay, miscarriages are not something that women have control over usually. Most of the time. It's basically the body rejecting the foreign mass. And I know a lot of you are going to be up in arms going, well, it's not a foreign mass, it's a baby. Babies is important. Well, babies aren't as important as you like to think. I'm sorry. With the world population where it is, yeah, a couple miscarriages aren't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are dreadful, they are psychologically scarring, but they happen, and a lot of times it's to the benefit to the species. I mean, it happens in nature too. Speaking of nature, homosexuality is also natural. There are species that basically reproduce via lesbian sex. Like, seriously. The stimulation of the sexual act, the fact that the entire species is female, and they can only reproduce asexually because of the sexual act. Lesbian sex helps them reproduce. Homosexuality is not a sin, it is natural. It is an actual thing. So stop trying to make it illegal. You cannot suppress who someone is. That's wrong. I mean, unless they're some psychopathic murderer, then, that kind of goes against the law. But anyway, back on track. We were talking about education. As I was saying, the skilled system is a great way to go. I mean, I'm not saying we need to completely scrap what we have and go, okay, this is it. Because that would take years and years to set up. Now, what I'm saying is we need to slowly kind of integrate that into our current system. What we need to do is when a child shows an aptitude for a certain skill set, we need to go, okay, well, let's infuse more of that into what they're learning. I mean, yeah, keep the underlying basics, but gradually escalate what they're good at. Now, one of the upsides to this is that they will have more knowledge for the workforce. They will be able to better find jobs, better be able to do what needs to be done. Now, I know a lot of you are probably going, well, what about, politics and construction and all that good stuff? Well, some people are really good at building shit. And we can infuse something about that into their education. That would be the math side. Because construction work is a lot of mathematics. Tinkering actually uses quite a bit of mathematics, though I kind of skip that step and just throw shit together and come out with some really cool stuff. I made a harpoon gun out of an umbrella. Almost shot my best friend with it, but he dodged out of the way, and we both thought it was really cool. Sorry, Will. But, everyone has an aptitude for something. For me, I like to write. And I like to storytell. So I'm a story writer. Now, what specific genre? Well, I like science. And I like fiction. I like science fiction. I like coming up with stories that are based around science fact. One of my current projects actually deals in genetic manipulation and cloning. So I actually had to learn about said things, which is not something that I would have gotten in school very easily. It's all fine and dandy to have colleges. Colleges are cool. They have specific classes that you can take. But we need to focus on the specificality at a younger age, when children are more susceptible to be able to absorb the information. Because the older you get, the harder it is to learn. It really is. I mean, I'm sure if you sat me down with the websites and the books that I read now, back when I was, say, 10 years old, I would be, okay, I can write this, I can do this, and that. And I might actually have the applicable knowledge, to be able to sit down and work with the ideas that I've come up with. I mean, I've got stuff knocking around inside my skull for matter transportation, teleportation. I've got holographic hard light technology bouncing around in here somewhere. I know the basics of it. I understand how it would work. I just don't know how to apply it. And of course, technology as it is today isn't really up to standards to be able to work with it anyway. So it's basically theoretical science. Hey, I'm a theoretical scientist. Hey, and I didn't even go to school for it. The stuff I know I've actually mostly had to teach myself. Because, like I said, I didn't get it in school. I didn't get the education that I needed. I got the education that they wanted me to have, but not exactly what I need. The broad brush is not the best way to deal with teaching children. We really need to knock off the stupidity. Politics and religion really need to get their dicks out of the pudding. And they're not going to until we give them a nut tap and say, back the fuck off. But unfortunately, really, no one today is smart or brave enough to do it. We're afraid of the repercussions. We're afraid of looking bad amongst this set of peers. We're so worried about what other people think that we don't worry about what is right, what should happen, which is why we have all these problems today. We have a government mass who is trying to drive us toward one goal or another, regardless of whether or not it's what's needed or wanted. And we just sit back and we take it. Because we're not educated enough to understand it. Which is pretty much what they want. If you have a stupid populace, they will follow you wherever you want to lead them. Facts is facts. We dumb. We are so dumb that we can't even write with full words. We have to shorten everything. We're dumb enough to believe politicians. We say, well, it's for your own good. Is it really? I mean, honestly, is making abortion illegal really going to fix anything? Is making gay marriage illegal going to fix anything? No, it's going to ruin lives. You're going to ruin lives with this. What we need is to fix the systems we have in place. Fix or replace. I would prefer trying to fix, because replacing takes way too long. We need to educate people to be able to deal with the situation at hand. We need to educate people so that you don't have more people like me who rely on the goodwill of others. Because I have a brilliant mind. I have no way to apply it. I wasn't taught how to. Basically, what I got out of my education is pretend to be normal. If you can do that, that's all you need. And it's not. It's not what you need. It's nowhere remotely close to what you need. I can sit out there amongst people, put on my normal face, and no one will be the wiser. Heck, a lot of people don't even realize I don't have a job unless I specifically say it. Or unless you follow my Tumblr or whatnot. My job currently is taking care of the house, watching the kids, and grocery shopping. Because that's what I can do. I'm not very well organized. I have psychological issues, and that really doesn't help. In fact, because of those, my knowledge tends to be locked away from me. And a lot of that is the result of the way society looks at us. Back when I was a kid, they were handing out Ritalin like it was candy. Every child had ADD, regardless of whether or not they actually did. Because we're stupid. We didn't take the time to figure out what the kids needed. That needs to stop. We need to actually sit down and we need to look at the child's individual needs. What are they strong at? What are they weak in? Can we boost what they're weak in? Can we make them stronger in that area? If not, then we need to give them just the basics of that. We need to make sure that they're able to survive. We need to make sure that they are able to go out and get a job when they're done with high school. Not after college. High school. We need to make sure that they're able to enter the workforce when they need it. Because a lot of kids out there, as soon as they hit 18, their parents go, "Bye! Have a nice life. I don't have to pay for your shit anymore. Go suffer elsewhere." And that's sad. And, the colleges, yes, I understand the need for some sort of funding for schooling. However, again, turning to this stuff here, the way that it's set up is that your education is, for the most part, free. I mean, they give you room and board, they give you the education, they give you the training, and when all is said and done, when you have all the knowledge that you can get, they send you out into the workforce. Now, where is the funding for this coming from? Well, as you work, a little bit of your income goes to guild dues. Basically, you're paying back a little bit at a time for the education you got. Nothing too serious. I mean, you have so many students, and they all manage to get jobs in that field. So you have all these sources of funding. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. Nothing too serious, nothing that's going to detract from their ability to live day to day. And, they have a second home if they need it. If they need it, they can stay at a guild house. They can have an apartment there, completely free, essentially. If they're having trouble at home, they can stay there. Or if it's closer to a job, you have a place to stay. And they have guild houses set up for every guild in every town. So you're not without help. You're not without resources. You're not without work. So maybe we should look at that. Or at least something akin to it. Because student loans are terrible. They're to use this specific terminology, student loans are unforgivable. That is the actual term. You cannot get rid of them with bankruptcy. If you die, your student loan debt moves on to your family. They have to pay for it, from what I understand. I don't know. I don't go to college. Never have. Because of the fact that I can't afford it. I can't afford the education I need. And a lot of you can't either. It's just a fact of life. And it's wrong. It's stupid. And we allow it. Again, it comes back to dumb populace. We complain about it, yeah. We complain about it all day, every day, until we're blue in the face. Do any of us try to do anything about it? No. Because trying to do something's hard. It takes effort. And it's so much easier to complain. It's so much easier to go on an internet forum and on the social site and go, I hate this and I hate that and oh my god, blah, 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 blah. I have actually emailed the president on education. I sat down in front of my computer here and I typed out a full email. In fact, I thought it was so important that I tried to leave it in the White House comments, which apparently I was almost 2,000 words over their character, or 2,000 characters over their character limit. Who knew? Apparently, I write too much. But no, I emailed the president. And you know what? When the next president comes in, he's getting the same email. And if I have to, I will send it every year. Until someone finally goes, I've gotten an email from this guy every year. I should probably look into it. That is my contribution. Hell, I'll do it every month if I have to be able to fix the problems we have. And you know what? You should do it too. It's not that hard. Send an email. Say, our education system's fucked. Student loans are killing us. We are in debt up to our eyeballs. And there are so many people who can't afford education that they're not getting what they need to be able to enter the workforce. This needs to be fixed. I challenge you to fix it. And with that, I'm going to end this episode. So, thank you for listening to me to ramble. If you're pissed off, I'm sorry. Not really. If you actually got something out of this, cool. So anywho, in the comments below, just let me know what you'd like me to ramble on about next time. I'll even sit and do the research for it. I will take the time, I will learn the facts, and I will give my opinion. Because it's the best I can do with the skills I have. Until next time, this is Ken with Natural Selection.